Hey, moviegoers, and welcome to my review. This is Aaron's review. I am Aaron, and I've been watching all the Oscar films, well, all the ones that are nominated for major categories. And today is my final Best Picture nominee, The Brutalist. So I've reviewed all of the other ones. This one has been more of a daunting one. I don't know if I've been nervous to cover it almost. So let's start with my 1 minute summary. I only have a minute to tell you what this film's about, essentially. So that way you kind of are caught up on what we'll be talking about for the next 10 minutes or so. As well as maybe if you don't have a chance to watch it before the Oscars, now you understand what it is, if it wins anything. So here it is, my 1 minute summary. This is going to be a difficult one because this is almost a 4 hour film. Yeah, you heard me right. A 4 hour film. They had an intermission and everything like movies did back in the day, like the Sound of Music times. I'm going to give you what I can within a minute just to get you excited for the film and see if it's a film for you. We're going in three, two, one. Oh gosh, I'm nervous. So The Brutalist is set in around 1940s. I think it's 1947, and it's about Laszlo, an immigrant, and he's coming. He's an Hungarian Jewish individual who is leaving and has been forcibly separated from his wife Esbeth, and comes to America after being in a concentration camp during the Holocaust, and he comes to America. Um, and in America, he's just trying to make it. It's the American dream. It's that, and an immigrant coming to America and finding a way. He is an architect, so he was very well known in Hungary. I believe that's where he's from. Oh, sorry, Budapest, I can't remember. But he now wants to try to make a name for himself, try to find his place in the world here, and try to get his wife to come as well. And he meets a really wealthy man, Harrison, who kind of falls in love with his minimalism approach to buildings as an architect. Ooh, sorry if I got the places. I get places and dates wrong a lot of the time. So correct me about what I got wrong. I like to learn and grow. So let me know. But that's I think that's pretty good for a 1 minute summary. Now you get the general idea of what to expect without giving away too much. Because spoiler free. I'm spoiler free on this channel, baby. Now that we got the 1 minute summary out of the way, I'm going to give my 1 minute review. So this is just where I have a minute to tell you what I thought of the film. I'm not going to go too in depth because I only have a minute. I can be a person that can be long winded, so this helps me get my mind straight, get my mind together, and then I'll let you know if this film is for me or not for me. I don't give it 5 stars or anything like that, but like a thumbs up, thumbs down. For me or not for me. So let's do this 1 minute review. We're going in three, two, one. So what I got from this film is a very interesting thing to have a film about a minimalist architect and having it done in this very maximalist way. It's a very big, broad film, big strokes, goes very, long period of time, as well as 4 hours, as well as this grand music. So well put together, so well done. I think Brady Colbert, uh, did such a great job. He's the director and co-author, co-screenwriter, and did such a great job. This is like you can tell his little baby, his love letter to this time. But also, this is about our own buildings, right? The things that we uh, keep in and hide away from the world, our shames, things happen in it that really Laszlo has to hold the shame in, as well as our bodies can be these big cement buildings like he designs. Hmm. So I don't know if you I don't even know if this 1 minute review sometimes helps. Like, did you even get what I thought about the film? So we're gonna go a bit deeper and find out if this film is for me or not for me. Before we go a bit deeper about this film, we're just gonna decide if this film is for me or not for me. And I'm gonna start with I was very nervous about seeing this film. It's, I knew that it was heavy, a heavy subject matter, and I knew how long it was, and I really was like 4 hours of my life. Wish I saw it on the big screen. I didn't. I would think it would have been a deeper and more meaningful experience seeing on the big screen, but I saw it at home, which I'm also thankful for because I separated it. They do give you an intermission. It is like an overture, a part one, intermission, part two, epilogue. and which was kind of great and theatrical in that way. I love that. That's what I mean by like about a minimalist architect, but it's done in a maximalist way. I also saw this after the Golden Globes and all the hype about it. So I was like, there's so many of the better films, really, The Brutalist, but it was for me. For me. For me. Like, I thought about it like for days on end afterwards. There's some beautiful moments of, with him and his wife, Elizabeth, and just the things that happen between what is freedom, I think becomes the question of this film. What is freedom? Like he comes to America, but is he still free? He's still, in some ways, a servant to his cousin who helps him out with, when he first gets here. And then when he meets this millionaire Harrison who wants him to build this building for him, this community center that becomes a huge project. He also is living on his grounds. He becomes, you know, for lack of a better word, a slave to all these different kinds of things, even though you're in a free country still. Like, and then there's also this part where there's Beth is, she's handicapped, she's crippled after what she has had to endure. To be honest, like she is kind of also, like a building, like stuck in her body, not free in that way, but possibly the most free character out of everybody. And she has a great moment, basically, of saying to him, like, I'm gonna paraphrase this, so I'm not quoting her. I'm just giving the general idea of what she says, that we are not our bodies. The things that have been done to our bodies, that is not us. That does not make us who we are. We are something much deeper than that. And I loved that because that just kind of gave the thesis statement for me, the thesis statement of this film, that we are not the things that are done to us. We are not these things, and shame, guilt, regrets, all these things can really enslave us in our own bodies, make us feel like a servant to others, make us feel trapped. So there's all these huge gray minimalist buildings surrounding him, and he's trying to build this community center and in his minimalist way, and he's stuck, and Harrison's stuck in his situation of how he feels in his body. It's just so well done, and using the buildings, the architecture as that metaphor, that symbol of us being stuck. And no one, no one is free, truly free. When people really literally jail us, imprison us, imprison us, that's probably a better word than enslave. Imprison ourselves. And as well as if we are imprisoned by others, that is not who we are. You're never free until you free yourself of these things, really. Very well done. That's what I got from the film, though. Maybe you got something different. Maybe this is not what the film creators wanted to feel at all, and I just took that away. But you let me know in the comments what you thought. So, for me, for me. So now it's time for my erroneous thoughts. Erroneous thoughts is my segment where me, Aaron, just something that's off the top of my head because of this film, or maybe because it's award season, the things I want to talk to. So it could be about this film, or about the acting, or maybe about the Oscars. And here's my hot take. I think The Brutalist is going to win the Oscar for Best Picture. I think it deserves it if it did. Like, I don't think it's undeserving. So that's not what I want to say. But my erroneous thought here is I don't think it should win. I think that the Oscars have now kind of felt like this kind of elitist thing that were like, it's these high concept films that win and these long, boring films, quote unquote, boring. Thinking about the Oscars and their trajectory, not necessarily what is the best, because art is subjective. What really is the best? That's why I do a for me, not for me. Art is subjective. So who's really to say who's the best and what's the best? It's more speaking of the time, I think, right? When you look back at the best picture winners, like, ooh, what was happening in our culture? I just think that this is a tough, tough year. I think there's a lot of great films. I don't think it should win in a representation of the time, as well as, well, possibly actually a representation of the time because of what's happening in America in this situation. But I guess I mean to say, I think that the Oscars need to be more tangible to people. So maybe a different film that can feel relatable to others. They see themselves in. I saw myself in this. So maybe I'm absolutely wrong, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Like it would just feel like when the English Patient back in the '90s won, right? Like these, or like the Artist one. Like these are very higher concept films, are really just not made for the masses, right? This film's not made for the masses. Tell me what you think, if it's going to win or not, and if it should win. So now let's break down the Brutalist Oscar nominations. Listen, it got nominated for a lot of awards. I don't want to go through each one because I think it actually is deserved each and every single one of them. Like cinematography, production design, like this is a beautiful film. The acting is so freaking well done. I'm not an Adrian Brody fan, and I am very intrigued that he's made a comeback somehow. But he's great in this film. He does this time period very well, right? Because he won Best Actor for The Pianist, and it was again about the Holocaust time period. And the best supporting actor, I like Guy Pearce, and he did a good job. But like that whole category is just so weak. The best supporting actor, supporting actress though, I really think that Felicity Jones should win it. I've seen, and I know that Zoe Saldana, she's the favorite to win, and Ariana Grande is the popular favorite, and both of them are good. They would be worthy if they did win, but no one's really talking about Felicity Jones, and that like baffles me. She is like the heart of this film, and maybe it's because she doesn't come in till part two. There's a whole part one and a whole other movie essentially without her. She becomes the heart of the film, and oh, she has this one scene, this one monologue where we all want it. She gets to say the things we all want to say, and again, the person who is trapped in her body the most, right, is the most free to say what's on her mind, and people will listen because she's the heart. I would love that win. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love that win. And if it won anything else, pretty much I'd be happy. That is my Brutalist review. I actually would probably see it again. It's given it a 4 hour film, I would see it again. And I would recommend it if you're in the mood for all the things I just talked about. I'm going through a lot of dark times right now about all the things that are going on in our culture and in our country. And this film was not an escape, but reminded me that there's so much more to life than these things. To not let them get you down, how to fight, how to find your inner joy, find your own freedom. People are going to do what they're going to do. You've got to find your light, your freedom. So it helped me in that way. So it's a heavy film, but a good one. Good, grand film. Happy award season.